Hi everybody, this is Mike and Lori with Hamburg Honey. What follows is a video we just did on a class that we had at the college. We had about 10 students come in, some from our former classes, some were just new students, and we held basically a seminar on how to extract honey, when you should extract. We also taught the students about cut comb, how you should create cut comb, what the bees need to do, what equipment you need. The students really enjoyed it. They had a lot of hands-on, um, a lot of hands-on work that they were able to do. Every everyone was able to take off the cappings of the frames. Everybody was able to run the extractor, take out all the honey from their own frames, and also all of the students were sent home with some of the honey that they extracted. So like I said, everybody enjoyed it, and I hope you can watch the video and see what we taught the students and enjoy it as well. So go ahead and get out there and enjoy your bees. So we can go through a bunch of tools I suppose here. Basically, this is just a really cheap cappings tank. You can get them all the way up to the size of this table, stainless steel. What they're used for is, as you take the cappings off of the frames, you just set them in here. That way the honey can drip, and all the cappings sit in there, and then the honey will collect, and you can dump it out. Yeah. So you have somewhere to set your frames basically, so they're not dripping on the floor or anything else. These are just capping scratchers, and we'll show you how to use these. These are just to get, if you miss a few little caps when you're taking the caps off, you can just use these just to scratch them off real quick before you put them in the extractor.
If you don't want to use those, these are hot irons you can use. We don't like them. In fact, we're going to give these away today. I don't like how it smells when you use them. I don't know if it burns. I've had beekeepers tell me that if you plug it in, get it hot, and unplug it, and then use it, it's not as hot. But we don't like using these. I don't think they're as efficient, and I don't like the smell. But some people do like using them.
Yeah, they just seem to get way too hot.
Yeah.
So we actually use what's called cold knife. It's the same thing, and like I said, we'll show you how to use all this stuff. And then also, I like to steal the bread knife out of the kitchen. This works really good too. So, alright. We have different types of filters here. This is the one that most people have, most people are going to use. You just set it right in the top of the bucket and drain your extractor right into it, and it filters it for you. This, I believe, is like a 300 strainer. The number of the hole determines what strainer size it is. I think this is like a 300, and I think this is an 800. So this one sits in here, collects the big chunks, and then it goes through, and this filters it really well.
This one I ordered from overseas. Again, I have a lot of friends in England. They have a store. This is 1,000. Like he said, one's 300 and one's 800, and it just sits on the bucket like that. It's a lot easier, I think. He doesn't like it as much. To each his own.
The nice thing about this one though is, you can see when you have this one in here, you're not going to be able to get the bucket all the way through. There's going to be an inch or two of space. That's what makes this one nice. When you set it on here, you can fill this bucket all the way right up to the top.
These are reusable or washable.
Yep.
And then this is the one you can get at Fleet Farm. This one's only 400 micron. They're very expensive now. This was $11 at Fleet Farm now. It was, and these are practically use and throw away. You probably wash it a couple times, but it falls apart. And this is pretty. You feel it's pretty rough and tight. And it's going to last for a while.
So the first thing that we're going to do, we're going to show you guys how to do. We're going to show you guys how to do cut comb. Okay. There's several differences between cut comb honey and regular honey. Okay. So this is a medium frame. All of our honey supers that we put on hives are medium supers. Some people just like to use a full-size super, a 10 frame. with the full-size frames. We don't like to do that because when you extract your honey, it's going to have tiny little particles in it that you'll be able to see. It'll be kind of cloudy, and that's because the queen will lay brood into those big boxes if you don't have a queen excluder on. And you can do it that way. A lot of people do. The commercial guys almost exclusively do it that way. But your honey just isn't going to be as clear if you do it that way. So everything that we do is above queen excluders and is in medium supers. They're also a lot easier to handle. A box like this that's full of honey is probably going to weigh 60 pounds or so. And if you have a full-size deep that's full of honey, it's like 100 pounds. So these are much easier. So this is what's called shallow frames. This is what we use to make our cut comb honey. And you can see, well, you can't really see probably, there's no wires in this, okay? This stuff all has wires in it to hold it together when you're running it through the extractor. This has no wires, okay? So when you put these boxes on the hives, it's just a regular box just like this. It's just a little more shallow. You can see that they're just a little bit smaller here. Okay. So when you put those frames in your box, you're going to want to put 10 frames into the box. Okay. So I'm distinguishing that because when you're using regular frames, you only want to put 9 frames in the box. That way, they can draw those frames out a lot further. See how they have it drawn way off to the sides? That way, when you cut the cappings off, it's a lot easier than if it was just like this. If you ran a knife over here, you wouldn't even be able to cut any cappings off. These are a lot fatter because you only put 9 in a box. These you put 10 in a box. Because these containers are not high enough to fit the fat comb. So in these boxes you put 10, and I'll show you real quick how we do these. It always makes a huge mess, but it's just the way you have to do it. Let's cut these off. Now if you have the regular full-size boxes, you can get them in this size or in this size, okay? We generally just stick with the smaller size, it's easier. Some people will just take this and just press it right through. You can see it's the exact same size, it fits right through there. But I found that when you push on it, then it smashes the back side of it every once in a while. So I just like to cut the whole thing out. And you can get these in the smaller size just like that, but I found that I've cut thousands of these, so I just eyeball it. And we're doing these first because once you set them on this rack, they have to drip for a couple of hours. So you're going to want to get a little rack like this if you do this, and set those on the rack and let them drip. And then we always put wax paper over the top just so nothing can fall onto them.
Perfect.
You have to ride that knife right against the wood, and yeah. Yeah, that's why you always put 9 frames in a 10-frame box for your honey. No, I wouldn't worry about that because once you put them next.
You know what? Would it be easier if you're on this side since you're level?
You can use your hand to stop the crank if you
When
want
it
to.
gets slower like that, just don't do it when it's going really fast. I got hit in the arm. Doesn't feel good. What do you think? Yep.
Yeah, you don't want the honey to get up far enough that it's touching that frame, because then it'll wake it up and make a bunch of ripples in the honey.
How many frames is this?
I think it was 8 frames. And they weren't, most of them weren't really all that full. So out of those 8 frames, I would.
And then I put a lid on, and if you use these containers, I always tape the sides. One piece on, I use the clearest tape I can get, so it's, how long can you store it like that? For a pretty long time.
It'll eventually crystallize within the comb, but you just eat it just the same. It doesn't matter. Yeah. So once it's like that, you could store it forever. I mean, they found honey in the Egyptian pyramids in jars, and it was still edible. So it'll stay good forever. I don't think anybody ate it or tried it, but they tested it, and you could have eaten it if you wanted.
He's nailed it. The size hasn't even counted. Yep. Perfect cuts. Look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I've done a few thousand, so.
He counts how many little cones over. No. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I can get it. It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot later. We got a glare in here. And these containers I get from Queen Wright Colonies. They sell these like 160 a case. They sell the big ones too.